But some of your guys' vision for what you want is so small compared to what's inside of you. Some of your guys' potential, I see it. Bro, I see it. I know what you're capable of, but you're holding back. And we rip on each other when other people work hard, right? When somebody works harder than me, we rip on them and go, bro, why are you working so hard? Why are you making me look bad? If you knew how valuable you were, your hands would be bleeding from the weights. You would be running so hard, you'd be going after it, but you're worried about what other people think. You can't control what they think about you. What's going on, guys? How we doing today? Hey, y'all good? Hey, let's get it, man. Let's get it. We got very, very little time. Very little time, so let's get right into it. I met Michael and his buddy. What's your name again? Eli. I always forget Eli, my bad. I met Michael and Eli on the beach in Carlsbad a couple months ago. I was there for my 30th birthday. Right? I don't look 30, right? Oh, wow. Wow, okay. Yeah, 30 now. So I was there on my 30th birthday. I was playing catch with my dad, and I'm throwing nice and easy. And these boys come up. They're clowning me. They're like, "Hey, throw a slider, throw it harder." And I'm like, "Who are these cats? These little jokesters, man." And I was like, "You grab the glove. Why don't you catch one?" And then we started playing catch, and the friendship was kind of birthed from there. And then we've just been chatting on social media, and got introduced to Evelyn. And just really pumped to be here. I'm excited to work with you guys this year, plant some seeds of hope, just plant some seeds of encouragement, and really just help you guys get committed. Like, how many of y'all want to be more committed in your life? You want to be more committed to what you're doing? Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, we got to get more committed. How many of y'all got a big dream? How many of y'all got a big dream for your life? You got a big vision. Okay. So I need you to listen up. Listen up to this question. Listen up. This is what you got to ask yourself. Hey, right here. We're not going to do that. This is what we got to listen up. What voices are you listening to? What voices are you listening to in your life? Because if you knew how difficult it was for you to be sitting here right now, you wouldn't be listening to the voices you've been listening to. You wouldn't listen to them. Some of you guys are listening to some voices in your head that are not for you. And you got to let them go. Because that's going to happen is they're going to hold you back. Some of the voices are inside of your head. You hear some things, I'm not worthy, I'm not valuable, I can't do this. I'm never going to be like them. And you continue to listen to these voices, but if you knew what it took for you to be sitting here, you'd stop. Because I know the potential in you. I know how fearfully and wonderfully made all of you are. The odds that you're even sitting in this seat right now are 4 billion to 1. 4 billion to 1 are the odds that you're even sitting here right now. If I were to stack a $1 bill from this floor all the way through the ceiling and through the sky, if I stacked 4 billion $1 bills and I wrote your name on that $1 bill, that would be 120,000 World Trade Centers high stacked on top of each other. Think about that. I just want you to fathom that. You've seen the World Trade Center, right? Just think about 120,000 of those stacked on top of each other. That's a lot. And the odds of me grabbing one of those $1 bills and it has your name on it are 4 billion to 1. 4 billion to 1. That's the odds that you're sitting in this chair. There's 3.999 billion people that didn't make it here today. But you were chosen. All of you are a life-breathing miracle. So when you start to think in your eyes, you start to think in your mind that I'm going to start listening to things that aren't about my worth and my value, you're choosing a destiny that is not for you. You need to start listening to good things. You need to start telling yourself great things about yourself. And some of you've been listening to people around you that don't have a vision for their life. and they're not committed to their life. So today we're going to talk about commitment. Commitment to yourself and your own belief. Commitment to where you are and where your feet are. And commitment to your future. So number one, you got to get committed to you. Can y'all do that? Can y'all get committed to yourself and how valuable that you are? Get committed to who you're supposed to be. Like some of you guys joke around. Some of you guys bully people. Some of you guys talk trash on social media. Like some of you, like you're doing all of these things, but if you knew how valuable that you were, you'd stop. You got to take advantage of your miracle status. There are things that you want in life that are for you, but you got to change your mind. And the way that we do that, we got to reconcile with some of the lies that we've been telling ourselves. So reconciliation is moving on from the past and moving on from an instance. So when I was coming up, when I was playing baseball, I played, got drafted by a major league organization, threw 97 miles per hour at one point, played Division I at the University of Minnesota. The lie that I believed was that my identity of who I was in the major leagues. My worth and my value was in my stat sheet. My worth and my value was in the things that I was trying to obtain. And it's a lie because when things don't go right, you start to believe less about yourself. How many of you guys have ever felt like as the game goes, your mind goes? If you're playing well, you feel good. If you're not playing well, you feel bad about yourself. You ever felt that? Show of hands. Pretty much everybody, right? That's a fleeting lie, and that's what the world wants to tell us. That as long as I'm successful, as long as I do these things that I want to do, as long as I accomplish these things, I'm going to have worth and value. I did that. I checked every box that I wanted to check. Varsity team, state championship, national championship, throw 90, get drafted by an MLB organization. I did all of these things, but the thing is, as soon as you get one, you're on to the next. You get a good test score, you get a good game. It's hard to revel in it. It's hard to be in that moment because you're thinking about the next thing, am I right? Because that's where your worth and value is. But I'm here to tell you today, your worth and value isn't in the things that you're trying to obtain. You need to start operating from worth and value. You guys are oozing worth and value. You have it within you, whether you're excellent on the field or not. All of you are excellent whether you are excellent that day. Think about that. All of you are excellent right now, just the way that you are. And everybody that you encounter, everyone that you encounter from here on out, they're excellent too. They're special too, and they're a miracle. Special education, whether they're special ed or the starting football player and the quarterback, whether they're a billionaire or a homeless person, you need to start looking at them with their miracle status and seeing them as special. You don't have to do special things to be special. You already are. Because for me, I always tried to obtain worth and value instead of operating from it. So if we can switch the mindset today, I don't need to go and do these things to be special. I already am, and start operating from it, you can have a totally different life. Trust me, I see people that are average. I see people that aren't living up their potential. I see people that don't commit to anything. And some of you are so committed to being uncommitted. Like you can't even show up to practice on time. Oh, you'd rather go hang out with your friends and do something, but you gotta be here. If you knew how valuable you were, you wouldn't skip. Because you knew what this could do for the rest of your life. And not just for you, but for humanity. Some of you gotta get a bigger vision for your life. You gotta start getting around people that have a much bigger vision. If you wanna have a huge harvest in life, you gotta start thinking bigger. You got to throw away the old way that you've been talking to yourself and start speaking life-breathing words to each other. Start speaking life-breathing words to yourself. So one thing that you can do today, that you can take action on, is you can reconcile with some lies that have been spoken to you. And sometimes it's from people that you love. Auntie, uncle, cousin. Maybe they've told you you can't do that. Maybe they said, you should have a plan B. It's okay to have a plan B because there's requirements of you to be eligible. If I were going to the University of Minnesota, I remember having a conversation with the head coach. He said, you need to get your grades up. You got to get your ACT score up. So what did I do? I got my grades up and I got my ACT score up. There's some things that you're being asked to do here that are for your benefit. And you got to start doing them. Showing up to practice, come on. We don't make fun of people. Everybody has worth and value. You can be the one that changes this whole culture here. But you got to believe it in yourself. So you got to throw away some of those lies. I would write them down. I'm not worthy. Somebody told me that I was fat. Somebody told me that I wasn't good looking enough. Somebody said this. Somebody said that. Somebody said this to me on social media. If you can't go to social media and encourage somebody on a keyboard, you shouldn't be on it. Because when you see somebody that has something that you want, right? Jealousy gets inside of your heart and you spit something out that's not even true. It's just a reflection of what you don't have. Go to social media, encourage somebody. You got to throw away those lies. Then you got to throw away the lies that you've been speaking to yourself. Some of you have been speaking to yourself in ways that you wouldn't allow anybody else to speak to you. You would cut the friendship off with somebody in the physical world, with your friend, if they ever spoke to you the way that you speak to yourself. Am I right? Think about the thoughts that you have. And you got to take them captive. Take your thoughts captive. When you start to think, it's not even worth it. Why are we practicing? Why we're doing this? We're not even that good. You got to put truth over that and start saying to yourselves, there is a purpose for why I'm here. There is a purpose for why I've been called to be at Fountain Hills. This is a launching pad to where you want to go in life. This is a launching pad to who you want to become. But there's some things that you guys got to do. We got to believe in ourselves more. You got to believe in what you're doing. You got to have a heart for other people. Get committed to Fountain Hills. I get it. You want to hang out with other people. You want to do other things. You want to slack off in school. I understand it. I've been there. I've been where you guys are at. But just imagine the compound effect of you doing the right thing every single day. What could that do for the culture here? Because you guys are the trendsetters. Whether you realize it or not, people are looking at you differently at this school. It is a blessing to be able to wear the jersey that you get to wear. An absolute blessing to wear the jersey. More eyes are on you, more eyeballs are on you. So if you can get committed to this culture of excellence, if you can get committed to Fountain Hills, committed to opening the doors, fellas, open the doors for the ladies. Right? We don't gotta make fun of them, we don't gotta do cat calls, like whatever. Open the doors for the ladies. Change the culture. You see somebody sitting at lunch who's alone, you see somebody sitting here at school that has less than you, that doesn't have the mind that you have, go speak to them, go talk to them. They're gonna give you way more than you'll ever give them, I promise you that. Get committed to it. And then you gotta get committed to your future, you guys. Get committed to yourself and who you wanna be. Start operating from your miracle status instead of trying to obtain your worth and your value. Y'all with me on that? Okay. Number 2 is get committed here. Get committed to Fountain Hills, being an encouragement, being a leader. All of your other classmates are looking at you. Yes, that's a responsibility. Yes, you have expectations on you. Are you going to rise to it? Or are you going to lead people down to the path of destruction? How you do everything, you guys, is how you do anything. How you do everything. How you treat your parents. To say thank you. Some of y'all have your parents' credit card in your pocket right now just in case. Do you understand how much of a privilege that is? If you live in America, you're among the top 1%. And I don't care if you don't have the newest Jordans or if you don't have, the latest stuff. You're among the 1%. I played with some kids from the Dominican Republic. Listen up. I played with some kids from the Dominican Republic that were on my team. They didn't get cleats until they were 14 years old. The home that they slept in was on the ground. You want to talk about perspective? Realize how much you have at your fingertips against the rest of the world. So if you don't take advantage of this, it's on you. Now, if you don't want to go and be successful, you don't want to go and do amazing things, that's okay. I still believe you're a miracle. But what can you do with your status? What can you do if you worked hard? What can you do if you were an encouragement every single day? How could you change the world? But some of your guys' vision for what you want is so small compared to what's inside of you. Some of your guys' potential, I see it. Bro, I see it. I know what you're capable of, but you're holding back. And we rip on each other when other people work hard, right? When somebody works harder than me, we rip on them and go, bro, why are you working so hard? Why are you making me look bad? If you knew how valuable you were, your hands would be bleeding from the weights. You would be running so hard, you'd be going after it, but you're worried about what other people think. You can't control what they think about you. You'll never be able to control it. So stop trying to please every single person that you come in contact with. You have been called and you have a mission in your life. Take it seriously. Get committed here. Think about what you really want and why you want it. Think about what you want and why you want it. Maybe there's a scholarship and you need a 4.0 and you need a 30 on your ACT. But you're not doing it because you don't know why. What is your brother and sister going to think about you? I think about my kids all the time. I got a 2.5-year-old and a 7-month-old now. Radlin and Ranger. You like that? Rad and Ranger. And I started to analyze my life when Radlin came into my life. And I started to think to myself, what is she going to think of her dad? What is Radlin going to think about me? Am I in the best shape I can possibly be in? Am I breathing life-breathing words into her? Am I speaking life over my wife? Am I praying for my wife? Am I leading our family financially? Like, am I doing the things that I say? Commitment is doing the things that you say long after the feeling that you said it in. Commitment is doing the things that you say long after the feeling that you said it in, because we can get hype at the beginning of the year, right? We're on the football team, we can get hype about going undefeated, but what happens when you start 0-2? Are you still committed the same way that you were before practice, before the season started? You can do this. You can do this. Change the way you talk to yourself. Reconcile with the past and start breathing life-breathing words into yourself. I am a miracle. I am worthy. I have greatness running through my veins. These are things that I write every single morning at 4:30 in the morning before I go work out. And I've been doing them for a long time. You want to believe in yourself, you got to replace the things that you've been listening to and replace them with good things. Can y'all do that? Can we take that one step today? Yeah. All right, let's get it. We'll see you next time.